and Troy, thank you. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Much better afternoon today than for those of us that were here a fortnight ago, if you recall. It was dark and wet and windy, and I know a few of the players after the game said it was the wettest that they've played on out here in Amy for some time. So a nice day, well, at least it was when we walked in, a bit dark with the curtains closed, and it's going to be a big game as well. And a big game in particular for Ben Rutten, one of our finest, one of our most loyal, one of our best, and he plays his 200th game today, ladies and gentlemen. Now, one-on-one, I think Truck is still one of the best in the business. 105 kilos of him, and he's had a fantastic start to the year. In fact, after round 5, if we were to have a look at our best and fairest, you'd suggest if he's not leading it, he'd be definitely right up there. As well as being in good form, and this is probably something that you don't see a lot of, and that is his leadership around the club. He's been a part of the leadership team for some time, but he's quite instrumental, I would say, in the development of some of the younger players, in particular Daniel Taylor, who won the Rising Star Award last year, of course. And I know Sando only told me this last night, but he has mentioned to a few players that Truck has not been carried off in any milestone game. So I know that's a little niggle for a few of them, and notwithstanding the 105 kilos, Robert, we want to shoulder him off today. So, talking about leadership, Robert Gerard, I know Troy mentioned Robert and Faye, our patron, our protector. Welcome to you. Always great to have you at the football. Thank you. And of course, Wolf Blass and Shirley, one of our great locals, maker of great wines, the Platinum. I think it goes in order, the Black Label, Wolf, the grey, the brown, the red, the yellow. Excellent wines. So wonderful. Good to have you guys here. Talking of another local, and that's the brand name of Spring Gully Foods. And I caught Roger Drake's eye when he walked in. I did say to him the other day, I think it's fantastic that we as a community can have an influence on Spring Gully brand. And I know Foodland, one of our inaugural sponsors, are going out of their way to support that brand. I think it's wonderful, and congratulations to Foodland for doing that. Now, we're going to be serving up their condiments half-time, post-game, and for the rest of the year, so we'll be doing our little bit for them as well. So on to the football. Probably the biggest story this week is Taylor Walker, yes, and probably it started off a story within the story, because we did send out a press release detailing what we thought had happened to Taylor. That got questioned, and people started to second guess our factual media release, Raymond, and people were making their own assumptions as to what happened. Even some journalists were saying that he'd secretly flown back to Adelaide on Saturday night, and I heard that on the radio, and I knew he was sitting next to me in Melbourne. So we do try to get it right, with our media releases, but that's going to be a big injury for us. It's a big out naturally, but I know Brenton and the team are going to give a couple of young players a go, introduce them to the rigours of AFL football. Today, Jason Porplecia comes back. We've got young Jared Lyons in for his first game of the season, and you'll see other players, of course, Brad Crouch, Ian Callanan, Graham Johncock, so there's plenty of depth there. Now, Taylor, really interesting. I won't bore you with the injury component of it, but his leadership off-field also goes a little unnoticed, and he's often renowned for being that joker, that larrikin. He is that, definitely. But I reckon he's gone out of his way this week to make us feel better about his injury, which is quite astounding. It's actually quite inspirational. So he's into hospital, I think, tomorrow. It's a very big operation, and we'll make sure that we give him all the support necessary to recuperate from it. So that's the bad news. Good news is we continuing to recontract our players. In fact, every contract we've put in front of a player so far this year has been signed, which I think is the best evidence that our football club, our football department in particular, has got a good culture, and these players are wanting to be here. And this week we actually re-signed young Cameron Ellis-Yeoman, who plays out at Sturt, Tom Lynch, who's back in the side for his, I think, third consecutive game today, and Brent Riley. So another 3 signings to add to all of those that we already have this year, which I think is wonderful. Just to also assure you, I know we're sitting at a 2-3 win-loss ratio. If you believed everything you read and heard, we're panicking. We've dropped the ball. The season's over. It's a long way to go yet, and I can assure you there's no such thing as, or even a hint of panic with Brent and the coaches and the playing group. There's a lot of strategic discussion, a lot of confronting one-on-one discussions, team meetings, but they have a plan, they will stick to it, and we're all very, very confident we will put it together. We're not playing good football at the moment to date, and we're still not getting belted on the ground. So whether it starts today, well, time will tell, but very, very confident that we will bounce back and bounce back soon. Finally, welcome to Andrew Newbold, who is the president of the Hawthorn Football Club, and Stuart Fox, the CEO, a couple of the really good guys in the AFL. You've often heard me talk about our counterparts in the AFL. They are all good blokes, and you guys are leading a very, very successful club. You've got a very successful team and have had for several years on the ground. We hope to take it up to you today, and we played you here first round, Andrew, 1991. We just got over you then, but you were one up on us at the end of last year. So good luck today, and as our inaugural chairman used to say, may the best team win, and let that be Adelaide today. Thank you.